I'm here to talk to you. We're here to discuss justice. We're here to discuss organizing. But I believe that all of that work begins with what is inside your heart. And so I am going to talk to you about opening my heart and finding justice, and opening your heart and finding what inspires you to justice as well. At this time, we are in the midst of studying the Torah for a period between our celebration of leaving slavery and our actual receiving of the Torah. We study a text called Sayings of the Fathers, and I bring you, Im ein ani lemili, if I am not for myself, who will be for me? Ukeshe'ani la'atzmi ma'ani, and if I am only for myself, who am I? Ve'im lo achshav e matai, and if not now, when? When I was a little yeshiva girl, believe it or not, in Brooklyn, going to a Beis Yaakov, my mother used to take us down for summers from Brooklyn to North Carolina to stay with my grandmother. In North Carolina, when storms come in, the thunder rolls, and the floor beneath you begins to shake. During storms, my grandmother would turn out all the lights in the house, and she would tell me and my cousins, now, y'all sit down and be still. The Lord is speaking to you. As I share this with you today, I hope you realize that it doesn't really matter whether I or you believe that North Carolina thunder was the voice of God. What matters is how my Nana helped me to internalize what it means to be still and to listen closely when the world is telling you loudly that there is something bigger than yourself moving through the world. Dear sisters, brothers, family, and tribe, I'm here to testify. I am here to testify that thunder is rolling across our nation in these times. Thunder in the form of unarmed Black and brown people being shot dead in their homes and in the streets by armed policemen and vigilantes. Thunder in the form of people of color making up only 30% of the United States population, and yet accounting for 60% of those who have been imprisoned. Thunder in the form of recent legislative attacks on the rights and freedoms of the most vulnerable among us in education, in voting rights, in immigration, and the rights of transgender people and communities. Thunder in the form of violence being wrought upon our communities by the disconnected, by the disenfranchised. Thunder as the sound of our very own hearts crying out loudly for healing and resolution. I am here with you because I have made it my life's work to facilitate the work of eliminating racism in our lifetime. Although there are many tools that my organization Visions and other organizations have put together to help activists to increase their awareness of diversity and the need for inclusion and greater participation across broader diversity, we also know that the work of racial justice is not a skill that one acquires in a 5-step workshop. The Asaro tribe of Indonesia and Papua New Guinea has a beautiful saying: knowledge is only a rumor until it lives in the muscle. The capacity to engage the work of racial justice is a muscle that must be exercised and developed regularly in relationship with others. When we're in relationship, we can agree to stand side by side and not leave one another. when we encounter challenges and obstacles like white privilege and internalized oppression. When we encounter systemic laws and practices that create inequity in the way we experience ourselves in this nation and in the ways we live and interact beyond this nation and walk through the world. We develop our muscle for ending racism every time we agree to stand together and name the moment we are in. Every time we stand as individuals and communities and do something to shift policies, change laws, repair systems, eliminate practices that would keep us from marching forward together. Even before I knew how to organize, I was looking for the people and the resources I would need to first survive racism and then service my people and my nation in working to end it. The voices and experiences of Jews of color must be brought to the center of our movement if we are ever to get a glimpse of the power, relevance, and significance of what it has meant to embrace and understand Jewish identity on American soil. In the transactions being made around race and racism daily, what is often being negotiated is the difference between life and death. Education, healthcare, fair wages, mass incarceration, immigration. These are the issues where we say with our policy and practice that people's lives matter or they do not. In our caring, and in our indifference to these matters, our souls are at stake. There is a large amount of racism that we must face even within our own ranks within the Jewish community. It needs to be dismantled. It needs to be named. It needs to be engaged so that it can be eliminated. We have to engage with a modern-day racism. We're not talking about the Ku Klux Klan down south somewhere burning a cross in a white sheet. I'm talking about racism that tells us we have arrived before we have even begun the journey. I'm talking about racism that is self-congratulating, that tells us we are already doing the work without asking those who have been most afflicted, what do you need to alleviate your suffering? A racism that combines with liberalism so that we make subjective assessments instead of objective and measurable plans to dismantle the systems of oppression. I am here because I want to begin to address a modern racism by paying closer attention than we have ever done before to addressing concrete realities and ending devastating impacts. When I still myself to face the year that has been 2016, what emerges is my need to have feelings, y'all. To have feelings about all that has occurred to our children, our families, our siblings, our nation, and not go numb. What emerges is the need to open my heart to you and to all of those around me so that we can continue to care. What emerges is the need to let my feelings work themselves into words, and to let my words work themselves into actions, and to have my actions light the fire of a burning hope across our nation so that we may stand together and change hearts, change minds, change actions, and then make lifelong commitments to building justice and repairing our world. I am a Jew. I am Black. I am a woman. And as Maya Angelou once said so eloquently, if I were born as anything else, I would be jealous. I am proud to walk this world as a child of God that is inspired to love humbly and pursue justice boldly. My people, our people, have an imagination that is so bold, it has allowed us for 1,000 years to define our spirituality around worship of a God that we can't even see. My people, our people, are a people that has faced down pharaohs in ancient Egypt and in modern America. My people, our people, are a people who have exploded the binaries of patriarchy and sexuality. My people, our people, have marched across deserts from slavery to freedom. My people, our people, are a people that have stared boldly into the jaws of imposed genocide and emerged chanting, I believe that we will win. 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 I am a global citizen, and I am a leader within this beautiful organization called Bend the Arc. My relationship with BTA spans close to 16 years, when Jews United for Justice was actually one of the first organizations to support my founding of Ayeka and my support of the fledgling community of Jews of color it dared to organize under my leadership. My relationship with BTA has offered me the Sela leadership experience and a network of social justice badasses that helped me to sustain my hope for racial justice, from membership in Sela's very first cohort to the glorious opportunity I had this year, 12 years later, of facilitating Sela's 14th national cohort and the first Jewish institutionally sponsored cohort of Jewish leaders of color. Yeah, y'all keep clapping. I have been blessed by my relationship with BTA. It has been a place where I could call on my allies to support me in struggles to dismantle racism within and beyond the Jewish community, and where I could rely on them to remind me of the truth, which is and continues to be what we say and what we mean when we stand together as brothers, sisters, and family who seek justice. Your liberation is my liberation, and my liberation is your liberation. As we look out into a world that is thundering and that is causing the earth beneath our feet to rumble, let us take a minute to acknowledge the power of what we must do together here in Washington, and when we return to our homes to bring healing to the world. I want you to stand up. Now look to the person to your right, and we're going to do as Alicia Garza taught me when I was at the Black Lives Matter conference last year. She said, look to the person to your right and say, I see you. Now look to the person at the left of you, and I want you to tell them now, and tell them like you mean it, I need you. And now take a good look at the full expanse of people that have gathered here in this auditorium together and traveled to bring their power, their potential, their expansiveness to this work of Bend the Arc, and say together, Hinenu. We are here. We are here. May what we know in our guts, they call them kishkas sometimes where I come from. May what we know in our guts help us to be a moral minion for each other and to this nation, so that we can answer the call at this time. And may we answer that call as Reverend Barber is teaching in the fields of my native North Carolina as we speak, by saying, we are not taking one step back, only forward, as we bend the arc of history toward justice. I am with you.